How's it going, everybody? And got me here to bring you another Acolyte-esque video. Just, I covered it in my review, but I thought I'd make a little bit more dedicated video to how Star Wars is now gay, and how everything we understand, all this other crap, is just, yeah, the non-gays have an issue with the gay Star Wars stuff, even though it was never fucking gay to begin with. Always stemming from whatchamacallit, this clip right here, which has now garnered quite a bit of hate, especially towards what they say and how they don't really even talk about the fucking show. But let's take a listen again.
I want to ask you both, because this is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And are you excited about that? Are you bracing yourself?
Star Wars. Not the
It's pretty gay, let's be honest. Leslie, how do you feel?
Am I gay? Yes.
Well, no, I know
Yeah.
you are gay, but I'm asking, are you excited about putting this, this is going to be a talking point?
Is it going to be a talking point?
I'm sure so.
Because nerds are gay.
Well,
Yeah.
some nerds are very not gay and are very threatened by gay
Well, that's
stuff.
true. But
Yeah.
in my world, nerds are gay.
Was this the fun elements of him?
No, I don't think so. And yet people have told me that it's the gayest Star Wars, and I frankly
You're offended?
into it. No.
I think that Star Wars is so gay already.
Okay.
I mean, have you seen the fits? We'd be like, look how gay this is, and then send each other a reference photo.
And are you telling me with a straight face that C-3PO is straight?
They're a couple. That's what I think. But this is more outward.
I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Ask Filoni. Okay.
Ask for
Can you
one.
imagine?
Yeah, talk to Filoni.
And again, as I did last time, scrolling through the comments, a lot of people obviously upset about them just only speaking about fucking sexualities and stuff, and how somehow androids now have sexualities, even though they're fucking robots that are only programmed basically as servants, programmed to do one thing: pilot, fix a ship, attack, whatever, right? Self-care, care for other people and stuff like that. They have a multitude of roles, but it's never been, oh, these robots are they have a preference between others and they'll have basically relationships. Like, no, that's part of what George Lucas, they don't have a sexual preference, and that's what they're basically implying now all androids have now. And especially since we've always seen R2-D2 with C-3PO, apparently now they're a couple just because they're always paired with each other, even though, wouldn't you think it's maybe a way for the audience to understand R2 when C-3PO's acknowledging or responding to R2-D2 like, no, you can't do that, that's against blah blah blah, and it's just like, it's just exposition for us to understand. It's not anything more. It's not a relationship. But that's what these dumb fucks want to put at as, is that, oh, these people, it's their sexually preference is this and that. Like, no, it's not. Like, and then also the way that they call out the fans, basically saying, well, the non gay ones have an issue with this. It's like, really? So now everybody who is straight and liked Star Wars or likes Star Wars doesn't agree with this because it's gay? Like, no, there's more to it. You're strawmanning the fucking argument. And as we can see here on the Rotten Tomato, all critics sitting at a 93, but top critics is actually at 72, so it went down more than it did before. And it was at 31% just a little while ago, now it's at 30% for audience score. Clearly, people are not on board with this. And again, had one of the highest dislikes of all the Star Wars stuff come out. The Mandalorian didn't have this issue, Obi-Wan didn't have this issue, fucking Ahsoka didn't have this issue, right? But the Acolyte does. Maybe it's in part of how they have marketed it. And we got other scenes like this, where, oh no, Indara gets fucking stabbed and dies by a butter knife, but yet random chick Sabine gets stabbed with a fucking lightsaber, but it's just a flesh wound. Walk it off. Like, can you be consistent on how someone dies and how they don't die? Especially, like, Not to mention the fighting choreography in this is very much more kung fu-esque instead of sword fucking battles and shit, which is what Star Wars is known for. It's lightsaber fights, the duels and other stuff, and even against blasters and shit, deflecting that crap. No, we have a chick throwing knives, and then fisticuffs, pause, do a backflip, like all this other dumb shit, but no actual really lightsaber fight. Whoa, it's like the thing that a lot of people would love to see isn't actually in the fucking show at all. Instead, you have, Yord using the lightsaber as more of a lamb. That's the only thing we really see them do. And then also them portraying the fact that, if you brandish your weapon, guess what? That means that, you're ready to kill. Yeah, so the whole thing that has been now introduced, which was not in the prequels or the original, right, is that now all of a sudden Jedi only bring out their lightsaber to kill someone, when in the past it's been used to disable someone, stop them from doing something that might cause more harm. Yes, they cut off a limb of something, or they're cutting the blasters and shit like that, cutting through a door, but it was never portrayed as like, they're gonna kill someone with this fucking thing. Most of the time, they don't actually kill anybody with it. Go ahead and watch the original or the prequel. You'll see they're usually not killing people, or the robots, I guess you could say, but they're not usually killing anything unless they're being attacked and have to disable the fucking threat, right? Now, and I don't know if this part will get clipped, but we'll see, 650. This fucking part where they're speaking some gibberish language, it's, I would say, one of the worst things I've ever heard. Like, it's like they got a 5-year-old to be like, hey, let's write some lines for this alien language, and the little kids just wrote whatever the fuck they could think of, and it sounds stupid. What other portion do we have to look at? Oh yes, the fat Jedi. The fat Jedi who, again, we've never seen Jedi be obese, right, or anything like that. They've always been in a fit state, so that way they can, with the Force, they're able to increase their jump, increase their speed, other things like that. We're not going to see it with this. This is just diversity for inclusivity's sake. Like, this is stupid as hell. Then, let's take a listen at what George had to say back then.
Other ones, when I sold the company, and they, a lot of those ideas that were in there sort of got lost. But that's the way it is.
It's the way it is, George, and as long as we're here, we're going to make sure that your stories are never, ever, ever forgotten, and everyone's going to be held accountable that makes new stories going forwards, that's for sure. And they can call us whatever they want, man. Toxic, whatever. Toxic because we have love for the man who created Star Wars. Toxic because we speak our minds respectfully. I'm not talking about the disrespectful people. That's on both ends. But as a Star Wars fan, I think it's very important to always vocalize how you feel respectfully. Don't be agitated or rude or, take cheap shots. Vocalize how you feel. Be respectful. Be kind. Be polite. Stand up for what you believe in. In this world, we only have a few things, and I think integrity and being true to oneself and your values is something that is almost like a forgotten substance. Everyone feels like they got to be a clone of one another and just be a sheep. Oh, the crowd is doing this? Oh, okay, yeah, I guess I'll do that too.
And they started.
And then the second clip that I got, just George explaining how there is good and evil in the fucking Star Wars universe, as opposed to what Disney claims is not.
I mean, you got the dark side, the light side. One is selfless, one is selfish. And you want to keep them in balance. What happens when you go to the dark side is it goes out of balance, and then you get really selfish and you forget about everybody, and you ultimately lead yourself, because when you get selfish, you get stuff, or you want stuff. And when you want stuff and you get stuff, then you are afraid somebody's going to take it away from you. Whether it's a person or a thing or a particular pleasure, experience. Once you become afraid that somebody's going to take it away from you, or you're going to lose it, then you start to become angry. Especially if you're losing it. And that anger leads to hate. And hate leads to suffering. I mean, you got the dark side.
almost like all these things that was being said before meant something and was able to accurately depict what one side and the other side was. I'm gonna have to highly edit this portion, but what he just said.
See through you. We can.
Be mindful of your feelings.
Your thoughts dwell on your mother.
I miss her.
Afraid to lose her, I think.
What does that got to do with anything?
Everything. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Yeah, I might definitely have to edit that portion. But it's just so good. Like, fuck, we don't have any of that right now with the current Star Wars. It's all just being upset at the fans that loved what it was, trying to mutate it and contort it into a different figure that it's not. And now you have the audience upset. You have a lot of the main fan base from the original and the prequel trilogy definitely not on board with this, and then especially since you've alienated them and basically called them toxic, bigots, sexist, misogynist, homophobic, all this other crap.
Watch the hate you give. What do you want them to walk away with? Because I know everyone has a slightly different feeling.
Well, I mean, white people crying actually was the goal.
Give her a round of applause, everyone.
So again, you have them making fun of, the goal was to make white people cry, and then you have this fucking clip as well, just adding more fuel to the fire.
This is like what we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. I mean, the idea that when you're hiring a director, that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie, that's the problem. That's the misogyny and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands today, because they're not thinking this is the person that will hire the right people and this is the person that will be able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them to that place. They're just thinking, do you have all the answers? And the truth is that nobody does, and anybody that says they do is lying. This is
And again, so apparently the person who created Star Wars doesn't have all the answers to Star Wars, but will shit on the prequels, saying, oh, they should have hired this other guy, will move forward when he's so the person that literally was trying to help give people the pointers for the following films and shows, he tried giving them help, and in the end they just decided to not hear him out. They decided, well, we're not going to listen to the advice you're giving us to help the show or the movie feel like Star Wars. No, we're just going to do it our own thing and just disrespect. So it's just like, you can't blame fans for walking away, and then you're adding the fact that, oh, well, he was just being misogynist, or with the fucking chick at the Tonight Show basically saying, oh, we're just trying to make white people cry. It's like, so you're actively antagonizing the audience that watches your show. Good job. You literally had 80% of a male-dominated brand trying to turn it into a female brand, failing at it, and now you're at the point where, well, shit, we don't have the same amount of money. As it is, they spent $180 million just for this show. Took them 4 years to make. Seems a bit ludicrous in my opinion for that amount of money, for what we're getting, the substance, the actual world building, I guess you could say, when it comes to the set designs and locations and the way that people speak, the dress, all that stuff. It just doesn't match. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. And maybe even slight hint of John Williams music playing in the background really does elevate it that much, but Star Wars is a far cry from what it used to be. And it's no help to these fucking people that have hijacked famous franchises who can't come up with things on their own, so instead they'll insert their ideas into existing IPs, ruin them in the process, and make the existing fans be labeled toxic or whatever, when in reality we're just not on board what you've changed it into, because it's not what we fell in love with. Unfortunate, but yeah, Star Wars is gay now, and if you're not gay and you don't like it, then you're just a bigot, at least in their eyes. With that being said, let me know down in the comments below what you think. Are you gay? Are you not gay? Do you like Star Wars because it's gay? Did you like it before, if it was gay or not? Or does any of that even fucking matter to you, right? Did you just like the story because it was good and evil? All that good stuff. With that being said, Shinigami signing out. Y'all have a good evening, good morning, and good night. I'll catch you next time. Bye.